Y'all, this been going on for about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, y'all. And here we are again. Let's see, what's today? Today is the 5th. Yeah. So, yeah, here we are again. We had one yesterday, and then here we are again today. Yeah. When you see this right here, when you see the doors like this lets you know that the fire alarm went off. Freaking BS. Then we got the policeman right here. Let me make sure I get you. We got him, Mr. Man. This is where he parks every day. See what that say? That says 20-minute parking loading zone. But that's where he parks at. And his truck just stays there. So if we need to load something, we just shit out of luck. Yeah, we shit out of luck. So, first and foremost, good afternoon, good morning, all of that great stuff. It's 1:34 actually, as I am in the midst of filming this. And yeah. So, y'all, let me tell you, I finally finished the book series that I was reading by Takerra, Takerra Allen, and I'm actually going to put the books in this video, and so you'll be able to see who she is and also see the covers of the books. Baby, let me tell you. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna get ready to run by the house right quick to see if there's just any small things that I can, I'm trying to go by there a couple of times a week just to get rid of, just a little bit at a time. So I need to make sure, first of all, that my neighbor did hold on, let me make sure that it's okay. Make sure that my neighbor, ooh, baby, it's cold. It's still cold. Make sure that my neighbor took the trash up to the street, because it was a lot, including the wood that, y'all, I know I jumped, but I'm gonna jump back. Including the wood that the trim that I took from around the floor. And it was just a lot. So I need to go over there and make sure that he took the trash out. See if they've come to pick up the trash that the chairs and the furniture that I took to the edge of the street, because they said 5 to 7 days. But anyway, so I'm going to run over to the house. But anyway, y'all, baby, let me tell you, this book, Devout and Devout 2, or 2 Devout. Baby, that book had me in a tailspin. When I say a tailspin, baby, you should have just went ahead and put a straight jacket on me and put me inside the soft room, because baby, that thing had me, baby, I was bouncing my head up against the wall. It was an emotional roller coaster. It was, my heart was racing, just listening to the book, because there are only a few narrators that I really, really enjoy, because whenever they tell a story, it's like you're there. It's let me clean this thing. It's like you're actually there. They're acting it out. They got the highs, the lows, they got the voice change. And it takes a lot to be a narrator. And especially on the level that I forgot what her name is. I'll put it in here too. What her name is on. I love anytime she narrates books. But baby, this book was toxic AF. I don't know if I want to be loved that much. I think I do want to. I want a man to love me with reckless abandon. I want him to love me down. But baby, when I say he loved her down inside out, upside down. He was murking people, baby. Anybody that even looked at her wrong, baby, that was out of here. Gave her anything that she wanted in life, anything that she wanted. But I didn't find out what his issue was, and I'm not going to tell you because, baby, if y'all, I'm not going to tell y'all. Y'all got to read this book. If you got Hoopla, go to Hoopla and get this book. Or if you got in wherever you live, if you guys have the library that gives audio books, get it from. Baby, if you like a good emotional roller coaster ride, and it ain't, I mean, she wrote the heck out of this book. I mean, she is an astronomically amazing, unbelievable writer. I mean, she is freaking untouchable, and she gives so much. And you think that it's too much detail. For me, it probably would have been the book would have been too long for me to actually read. It was just better. I enjoyed it more with this particular book being an audio book. And I'm waiting for my girl Menasha to let me know, and then my girl Andrea to also let me know their thoughts on it, because I got them reading it. I went on Atlanta, Black Girls Read Atlanta. I went on there, baby, and I talked about it, and everybody was talking about how they had read it. Then she got another book called Parachutes that I'm waiting for it to come to the library as well, even though I can't get it on Kindle Unlimited. But this book, I can't even think of a book to compare it to. I can't think of any books, writers in the past to compare it to. Even Sister Soldier's book does not even come close to this, and it's not a hood novel. It's not an hood novel. It's not really about the dope game or anything like that. It's about the love between these two people and his unbelievable love for her, and for their love for each other. And then towards the end of book 1 is when you find out what the hell is really going on and why he is so obsessed with her. And then book 2, Devout, the second part of the series, baby, it's oh my God. You know what? I'm trying to think. I can't remember the name of this other author, and I'm going to try and remember what I'm going to try and remember it. And I'm going to put it in this video too. I got to go back and look it up because I forget her name, but my cousin Fallon is going to remind me of her name. But she had 2 series, and it was long, and those particular books I read, I didn't listen to. But she also was an amazing writer. So if you guys like to read, if you're really into, because I'm heavily into Black authors, and I've been that way ever since discovering like Terry McMillan and what's her name that used to write all the little nasty books. What is her name? Because her books were the first books that were shock value, and they really weren't well written books. It was just the shock value in her books that had everybody in a chokehold. Heat Seekers was one of them, and the one where she always talking about somebody had an elephantine penis. That's when I first started reading books that was very graphic in nature. What is her name? Well, I feel like it starts with an S. And then she ended up having TV shows and series and stuff. Honey, I'll put it in here too. But anyway, so I'm almost to the house and everything. And I got some more stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Just life and everything. Shout out to everybody who has been so encouraging to me as far as what's going on with the house. Some of you guys have made some really great suggestions. I never thought about just really filming the progression of my house in thoughts of maybe getting sponsorships or donations, and somebody threw that out there in the elements, and then another person threw out there in the elements, and it's just, you guys have truly been a blessing to me. When I say you guys have truly been a blessing to me in so many ways that I would have never imagined, you guys have truly been a blessing to me. Let me say that. And so I say thank you. Well, I'm not too far from the house, and so I'm gonna pull up, run in, look at a few little things, see if there's anything that I can possibly take to Value Village. And also, the reason I really came out is to go to the grocery store. I've been eating salads for the last couple of days, and baby, whenever I say I got to make sure I get the dressing that I had before. It was creamy Italian wishbone, and I looked at the back of it, and I don't think it's bioengineered. And then I have a vinaigrette, and I mix them two together, and baby, whenever I say, oh my God, it's been everything to me. So I want to get some peppercorns. I want to make something similar to the Olive Garden salad, but I don't want it to be with the Caesar. I want it to be with this Italian dressing. I don't even want the Olive Garden dressing. I looked at the back of the Olive Garden dressing, and I think they have that bioengineered notification on the back of it. But oh my God, when I say, I think maybe I'll pair it with some tomato and basil soup as well. So that'll be my dinner for today. Also, and I said I was going to get off with you guys, but hey, y'all, I can't even let y'all see what my house looks like right now, my apartment, because the more excited I have gotten about moving to the house, the more I have gotten to where I'm just going through so much stuff and throwing so much stuff away. So yesterday I pulled everything out from under my island and pulled out all the drawers, because I had one major junk drawer, and then I had another drawer that really wasn't a junk drawer. And it's just mind-blowing how much stuff you have. And I definitely don't want to take it from this house over to that house. I'm praying to God to never have to deal with what I'm dealing with right now ever again, and not, leave that on my daughter as well. But one thing that I was tripping off of is the fact that nowadays everything that you buy that is electrical has the C cord to it, everything. And so right now, and I wrapped them up and everything. I put them in a plastic bag, and then last night I went back in the plastic bag and I threw them all in the trash can, because right now I had 25 cord chargers. 25. And that doesn't include the one that I got for charging my phone in my room. That doesn't include the one that I got that's plugged in at the end of my island. And then I have 2 for my laptop. So baby, whenever I say I threw that stuff away, and so that's what I'm in the process of. I also need to go and okay, the chairs are still out here. I also need to go and go get the boxes from over to Dee's house and everything, because he did take the trash. Thank you, Jesus. Because I'm gonna pack up a lot of like the pots and pans that I'm not using, and start cleaning out the cabinets and stuff. And the coffee mugs that I am gonna take, for the most part, I'm gonna pack them all up, except for maybe 2. And the things that I just know that I haven't touched or used, go ahead and start packing them up. Same thing with clothes, throwing stuff away. So I've gotten here to the house, and I just want to run in and just put my eyes on some things to see, what my next move is going to be as far as making some moves. I also need to walk down here and look at my generator, because it's going to be, I need to get that service. So yeah, come on y'all, let's go. Y'all, this is another thing. My mom and dad, these doors, my mom and dad paid mad money for these doors. These burglar bar doors are heavy. But I also really don't want them anymore. Yeah, y'all, this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff that I really just... And see, the thing is that I'm not going to keep any of this. People are like, well, you can keep the pillows and this and the third. I'm not going to keep the pillows, because at one point it was a lot of rodents in here. And so the rodents have, yeah. So what's up next? What's next is this right here. Hold on, y'all. What's next on my agenda for getting out of here is, that's the computer workstation that I took down, and I need to just really come in here with the red thing that moves stuff out. And then this right here, this entertainment center needs to go. This entertainment center needs to go. And I need to take this to the Goodwill or Value Village. This right here is a twin sleeper love seat that my mom bought really probably about 6 months before she passed away. But I'm going to have to end up donating that too. This sofa, let me tell you about this sofa, guys. This sofa right here, my mother has had this sofa since I was about 3 or 4 years old. This sofa has been reupholstered 4 times. At one time it was white, all white. Then another time it was all green. Then it was hold on, I'm trying to show you guys. Then it was this. Oop. See, this is the stuff that I have to work on, you guys. But then it was this right here. And then the last time she got it reupholstered, it became this. Then I have this dining room table and china cabinet. She had these reupholstered. My mom, now one thing my mama do, my mama get some stuff reupholstered. And see, all of this has to be cleaned out. And it's china and all that stuff in there. So, and these, it was a big thing on the wall. So now this, I gotta repair this. And I gotta repair this hole. Because I think, I actually eventually want to take this whole wall down. And, hold on. Yeah, I actually want to take, let me step back. This video gonna be so long, and it's just gonna be just about the house. I actually want to take this whole wall down, but of course I'm gonna definitely want to keep my fireplace. Take this whole wall down, and I'm gonna insert the picture in this video of how I want to do this, because I know this is a load bearing wall, and so I know I won't be able to really take the whole wall down, because that's, as they call it, a soffit. The beam is in there that's holding the whole house up. So I have an idea of what I want to do, but when I first move in, I'm probably gonna put my TV on this wall, but then I thought about, I'll probably put it on that wall. Yeah, anyway, y'all. Good morning, beautiful people. I realized that I haven't been saying that a lot lately. I don't know what's gotten into me. So many things that were customary for me, I've kind of gotten away from. But one thing that I do want to start doing this year is asking you guys to subscribe and share my video. And thank the ones who have been rocking with me for over a year now, and welcoming any new people who might venture across my video. So, not sure if you saw it or not, but last night I posted I guess you would say a blog on the community board. And it was just something that I was just laying there in the bed thinking about. Actually, I've been thinking about it for a while now. And it kind of like, last night, I'm like, Chloe, go pick up your laptop and write down your thoughts, because you said that this year you were going to get back into blogging more, not just vlogging. But, you know, I have so many things that I think about, and I write them down, and then I never follow through with them. And I used to be very deep into writing, but the last couple of years it's kind of like fallen to the wayside. I've had many blogs. I had my own blog with my own, what do you want to call it, website. And then I kind of like let that go, because I was paying like $25 a month and I wasn't even being consistent with it. Then I had a couple of blogs on Blogger and wasn't being consistent. So recently I've been noticing Substack. And so last night, as I was thinking about, you know, what I posted in the community, I said, hey, why not sign up on Substack? You can, post what you want to post. But anyway, you can post whenever you want to post, and, go ahead and get into it right now, where it's only hundreds of thousands of people there. I don't even know if it's hundreds of thousands. It might be like, might not even be 100,000 people there. But go ahead and jump on it before it gets to be a million. Same thing like it was with what's the name of that Clubhouse. Same thing with Clubhouse whenever it first blew up. And now Threads, I am deep on Threads. And when Threads first came out, I'm on Lemonade, haven't been on Lemonade for a while. But I need to get back to expressing myself. I've been so caught up in YouTube, and you guys know I love you. But sometimes I have thoughts that I want to write down instead of necessarily, conveying them or talking about them on camera. Everything that comes through my mind, I don't feel like I need to just grab my camera and start filming about it. Some things you just want to just write it out. So if you know about Substack, it's the same thing. I'm the same thing over there. I am, it's called Life Over 50. And is my handle name Chloe? I am Chloe Barksdale, I think it's being Chloe Barksdale over there too. I try and make sure that everything is uniform across all of my socials. That's another thing, is that if you're not following me on TikTok, if you're not following me on Instagram, if you're not following me on Facebook, all of those are public. And so please follow me there, because I'm going to be cross posting, but then there's some things that won't necessarily be on YouTube that I'll be posting. There are little things that I find, little ideas, little words of encouragement and stuff that flow across my visual every day. But anyway, so in the community, y'all, I done mixed this all up. In the community, I was talking about my lack of desire. You know what? Let me sit that there, because a lot of people don't want to hear you eating on camera. This is not a mukbang. But it's really been blowing my mind lately that I have zero desire whenever it comes to intimacy. I mean, I know I've, talked about it here and there, but it was earlier this week, today's Thursday, that I found my rose up under the bed. Because right now I'm going through the process of cleaning and getting stuff together. My house looks a mess because it's like I'm pulling stuff out, throwing stuff away, pulling stuff down, trying to visualize in my head. Matter of fact, I'm going to IKEA and probably Rooms to Go today, and maybe Restore, just to get a visual of where I want to go as far as the house. I'm really starting to get excited about it. At the same time, very overwhelmed about it. And so that's another reason that I also said that I was going to start writing my emotions and feelings down. I know a lot of people say, well, you should journal. And I've had journals before. For me, it's easier for me to type it out, and then go back and see it. And then sometimes, you'll get reminders on the anniversary, and you'll go back and you'll be prompted to go back and read, and you'll be able to compare where you are now versus where you were before. So that's one of the reasons that I like online journaling. But so I found my rose under the bed, and I said, I haven't used that thing in months. And whenever I say months, as I reflect back, I was only using it because I felt compelled to do it because I felt like I should have those desires. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? In my mind, I was saying, you're too young to just be like, don't even think about it. Don't even long for it. Don't desire the physical touch. And so, me and my relationship with my rose was really in comparison to being married in a loveless relationship, and whenever he tries to just to do your wifely duties, you just turn to the side and just let him get it how he lives. That's why I compare my adventures with my rose to. But then last night I'm like, okay, is it, I think it's a combination of things. Because there are people who are our age who are very much active, and because God knows they got some old people pern, who are very much active, very much desired, very just active. But then as I'm talking to a lot of my sisters, I'm learning that I'm not alone whenever it comes to just not even desiring it. I would, like I said, in my community, I said, whenever I was in my 20s and 30s, I never imagined that whenever you hear people say that they've been, your older people say that they haven't done it in 2 years, in 4 years, in 10 years. Now I've gone up to 2 years of purposely abstaining. During, whenever I need to do a spiritual reset. And for me, anytime I would break up from a serious relationship, a long-term relationship, I would take time off to reset. I didn't want to be the type of woman that, like it's often said, I didn't want to be the type of woman that bleeds on someone who didn't cut me. So even since my 20s, I have been the type of person that whenever I in a long-term relationship, I take either months, and then I've also taken years off where I just don't date, don't communicate with men, don't give out my phone number, and just really focus on me, because I've always been an accountable type person. A lot of times us women, we always say what he did, what he did, what he did. He did this, but we don't really honestly take accountability for the part that we played in the demise of our relationship. And I know I've talked about this before, but it ties into what I'm saying now. So in that, I would often take, like I said, months or whatever to do a reset, to do a emotional, spiritual, and physical cleanse. And to be quite honest, I started this path after I read Ayanna Van Zant's book, Faith in the Valley, what I got over there, until today, one day my soul just opened up, value in the value, all her books. And then of course her book Interiors. And so that, of course, I talked about set me on my spiritual journey. And a part of that spiritual journey was realizing that and then there's another book by Dr. William Gillette called Brothers, Lust, and Love. And that gave me a view of men and how men think and how we intertwine. So with that, it set me on my spiritual journey. And so I began to where I wouldn't just jump into something or jump out there. I would actually, like I said, take time to do an emotional, physical, and spiritual cleanse. And spirit, I do believe in spiritual cleansing. Baby, I done took some sage and sage makuchi. That's how much I believe in it. And I know a lot of people don't believe in sage. Don't come on my channel talking about these roots and all this other stuff. And My monkey, my show. So, in doing that, you know, it seems like once I came, whenever I did that, then once I open myself back up to dating, it's almost like right away, meet somebody and boom, into a relationship. So, but I never in those years thought that I would unconsciously be at this point in my life, because those were conscious decisions that I made to abstain. But here it wasn't like a thought process, if you feel me, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to purposely abstain until I find the right person. Now I'm going to say this: as I matured and entered into my 50s and I was still dating and stuff, I still leaned heavily on believing that I was going to wait, but I was still into the dating scene and wanting to date subconsciously and all of that. And so I had said that I most definitely too old to be just out here doing it for sport. I was going to wait. He was going to have to understand that I was waiting to see where this is going. He was going to have to date me because Black Venus is precious. She is precious, and she is not for anybody to be jumping up and down. And, just because he fine and he smelled like Drakkar, old school, or he dresses nice and he got a cute smile and he take me out a couple of times and his energy and he kissed good and all this other stuff. That was no longer enough for me to spread my wings like a butterfly. But as time has progressed and I found myself more and more disinterested, I'm like, it's no longer a conscious decision. It is just a matter of don't even think about it. And I never imagined that I would be at a point in my life where I didn't think about desiring the physical touch of a man, even so much as, he laying here on the couch and me laying on that end. I got my foot thrown across him and we looking at TV or football, or, football season for me was I associated that with being with a man because it's masculine and I love it and he love it and we're going to have on our jerseys, we're going to have fun and all this other stuff. But now, honey, I can watch football all by myself. I've always been into, but now I can definitely watch football by myself. I don't even think about it. But it's just still mind-blowing to me that even at my young, seasoned part of my life of 55, that I now get it. I now get it whenever I hear people older than me that says, I ain't had it in 10 years. I ain't had it in 15 years. And going on about their life happily as if they don't miss it. Now, I'm sure that they miss the actual, sometimes it hits you and you do miss the presence of testosterone. That's not your own. But y'all, my mind is just freaking blown. And so, talking to, I'm going to tell you, they don't care. Sitting on the phone, chat, voice message, talking to my girls, Kimberly, Bonet, and Kaylani, talking to them about this, just, it made me feel good because I realized that there's nothing broken in me. Is that this is becoming increasingly more of an occurrence with a lot of my sisters my age across the board. And I mean, we've had some really deep, intimate conversations. When I say those are my girls, me, Kay, and Kimberly talk every single day. And I never imagined that I would be so close to women that I have only really known a year, but we have bonded over miles just on the commonality that we have in this phase of our life. And we talk about it so openly and support each other through so much. We've supported each other through so much in this short span of time. And so it's easy for us to have these types of conversations. And so I wonder, sisters, are you having these types of conversations with your girlfriends? Are you being, open and honest and picking their brains and finding out that for whatever reason, we're all at this certain phase of our life? And I wonder if it's because, we've been hurt. We've been through so much. We've experienced so much with our men. Some of you have been married once, couple of times, been in long-term relationships. And it's like it's almost scary to the point that we have become indifferent. And I was reading somewhere where more and more women are choosing not to have children. More and more women are reaching their 30s and 40s and even 50s and don't have children. I have quite a few girlfriends that have no kids. I have quite a few cousins that are around my age that have no kids. And it's like, it's kind of sad because it's like, what's going to happen to humanity? And are the brothers going to wake up, and are they starting? I think some of them are starting to wake up, because I see it a lot on YouTube where they're talking about how women just are not paying them any attention. More and more men are talking about being alone, being lonely, and going through the same thing that we're going through as far as being dry spells of not. And we always think that they just straight whores and that they out here just humping everything that comes by. But I am learning from talking to some of my close guy friends who I trust and believe that they are experiencing a drought too. So my question is, what is it going to take for the flame to return? Because right now, baby, it's like that candle that you leave on and you forget about, you left on overnight, and then whenever you come, you realize that the flame is just a flicker because it's burned all the oil out, all the wax. It seems like that's where we are now. And so what is it going to take for us to fall in love with each other again? I don't know. But I guess that's my TED Talk for today. I'm going to finish eating my yogurt and I'll holler at you beautiful people a little later. Love you, bye.